In this video, I'm going to show you the exact strategy I use to lower cost per purchases across multiple different brands, regardless of the niche or industry in 2025. Now, one major thing I've found after talking to hundreds and hundreds of e-commerce brand owners over the years is most brand owners have zero clue when it comes to knowing exactly what lowers the cost per purchase on Google. They often go and chase vanity metrics like CPCs or CTRs or even impression shares in the hopes that the cost comes down, but they only end up disappointed at the very end. Now, before I actually explain my actual strategy of how to lower the cost per purchase, I want to take a step back and help you understand exactly how cost per purchase, the value itself, even works on the Google Ads platform. Now, what you want to understand is that value that you see on your dashboard, the cost per purchase, it's not a number that just randomly came on your Google Ads dashboard. Rather, it's a number based on a certain formula and based on the algorithm itself. The formula can be classified as quality score plus the competition in the market plus your ad strategy itself. All these three things basically result in the cost per purchase number that you see on your screen. Now, within this formula itself, there's a few things which we cannot control. The first thing we cannot control is the competition in the market. No matter what you do, there's going to be either more competitors entering into the market or you're going to always be dealing with your old competitors. There's very little you could do about that. However, there is something you can do about the quality score of your ads and your ad strategy itself. Let's start off with the quality score. So first, understand what can be done in this aspect to then potentially lower the cost per purchase. What you want to understand is everything in Google is decided by formulas and zeros and ones, because Google itself, it's designed to be run by basically a robot, artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence, it doesn't understand real human values, real human emotions. Rather, it runs off of zeros and ones, basically computer language. And the quality score is no different. It's determined by a formula which is essentially expected CTRs plus the ad relevance of your ads plus the landing page experience. Now, the first step to improving your quality score, which can hopefully help you lower your cost per purchase, is to improve the expected CTRs of your products. In general, expected CTR is essentially the CTR Google is expecting your product images to have. It could be based on previous data, it could be based on the internal algorithmic changes and effects that are taking place, and basically based around your competitors as well. The best way to improve your expected CTRs is to be directly influencing things which change your CTRs, like product images, product titles, who you're targeting via the descriptions, the keywords you're using, the Google Merchant Center, the product feed attributes. All these things impact your expected CTR. So that's where essentially your work begins. And ideally, you want your products to have no less than 1% CTRs. Of course, the more you have, the better. But if it's less than 1%, there's a lot of A/B testing you need to do in order to get that portion of the formula in place, because that brings us to ad relevance. This has more to do with your landing page. It has more to do with your titles and your descriptions, because ad relevance is basically if people are searching for oranges and your brand is selling oranges, do you have the right keywords to show up for these audience members who are searching for oranges? Or do you have a lot of keywords like apples or tangerines or peaches in your description and your titles? Because what this does is it does not properly flow into what your audience is looking for, and as a result, there is no type of relevancy with your ads in terms of what the user is searching for. So this causes issues with your quality score. That's why you want to make sure you do proper keyword research, you're using the insight section, so on and so forth. But in addition to that, the third thing that impacts quality score is your landing page experience. At any given time, if your conversion rate has plateaued in the last 30, 60, 90 days, or it's even going down, this is a negative signal to the algorithm and it's a negative signal to your quality score. So at any given time, it should always be in the improvement stages, or it should be at a very high level where you're satisfied with that conversion rate, ideally above the industry averages, whatever it may be. Some industries, the 1% is average. If it's higher ticket, it may be lower. If it's lower ticket, it may be way, way higher. So you want to always ensure you're trying to aim for higher conversion rates, because when you combine these three things and these three elements, that's that's when you have a proper quality score, a high quality score, which is going to help you when it comes to actually lowering your cost per purchase. But once you have all of these things in place, then that means you have the right quality score in place, and this quality score is between 1 to 10. Unfortunately, Google does not tell you what it is on the account level, but it does tell you on a keyword level. But essentially, it's a score between 1 to 10, and the higher your score is, the better it's going to be. But because once that's taken care of, then we can move on to the third and final step of lowering your cost per purchase. Because by this point, if you already have done these things, your cost per purchase should be in the downward trend. Now, again, this is like an ongoing process, not a one-time set and forget thing, because you will have to constantly go into your back end, into your data, into your insights to ensure you're moving in the right direction and to ensure you're optimizing things accordingly, because there's always going to be new data that's entering the market, at least from what I see under the brands I work with under my agency, Your Marketing. Which, by the way, if you run a brand doing $50,000 or more per month in revenue, you need some extra help scaling to the next level with Google Ads. Go on to my website at yourmarketing.com and schedule a completely free call with me, and let's see how we can potentially work together and make that happen. The third and most important thing of everything combined is your ad strategy. Now, of course, the right ad strategy means having proper product segregation, using a multitude of campaigns from Performance Max, even standard shopping, and then search, YouTube, demand gen, etc. But essentially, the best strategy you can implement, doesn't matter what niche you're in, what industry you're in, is the simplest one that gets things going in the right order, because it's much better for you to have a simplistic approach that's not overcomplicating things, that's not causing too much overlap or just internal bidding wars, rather than you trying to have many different things and just things being all over the place, nothing really connecting or working together as it should be. So this is the best approach you should have for the ad strategy side of things. This also means proper product segregation based around product similarities, such as product margins or the winners versus losers, or products which are getting tested versus products with zero ad spend or zero impressions, so on and so forth. Because this approach, it creates the baseline you need to control your cost per acquisition. And you could set the biggest restriction in the world. You could set a target ROAS of 1,000% within your PMAX, or very, very low cost per acquisition for target CPA for your smart bidding campaigns. But it's not really going to work unless you have all of these proper elements of the funnel in place. But keep in mind one thing: as you scale, your cost per purchase is naturally going to go up. It's just a side effect of showing your ads to a bigger pool of the audience, because many people from this bigger pool of the audience may not be the ones that are going to convert, and this is just a problem you have to deal with. So the main goal as you scale up, as you do all these things, and as you naturally start to lower your cost per purchase, is to keep that balance between audience targeting, a high quality audience that you're targeting, and the scale you're achieving, making sure you're keeping that balance in place where you're not going after cost per purchase and lowering it to the point where now your scale in terms of volume is also impacted negatively. It's always a trade-off you have to achieve. Sometimes you have to focus on cost per purchase, other times on revenue and just the volume itself. But in general, focusing on these things is going to help you lower your cost per purchase over time. And again, it's an ongoing process. It's never something you do one time and you forget about it. It's something you have to consistently do over and over again. But basically, this is the approach that works for a lot of the brands we work with, which again, if you run a brand doing $50,000 or more per month in revenue, you need some extra help scaling to the next level with Google. Go on to my website at yourmarketing.com, schedule a completely free call with me, and let's see how we can potentially work together and make that happen.